There's always more to the story, be it David or somebody else, and it's tougher getting to the bottom of things with this new league language, which puts a limit on how a team can describe player absences. Unfit to participate. What does that mean? Red Sox. We're going to start with the Red Sox. So many moving parts here. Let's start with the guy with the coolest name in sports, Blaze Jordan. The Red Sox kind of sort of helped the starting pitching, which was absolutely, positively looking terrible just a week away from the start of the season. The Red Sox signed right-hander Zack Godley. Godley was picked off the trash heap of the Detroit Tigers. We don't know about tomorrow for Bruins goaltender Tuukka Rask, but before we get there, let's talk about where we are and where Tuukka's been. He missed practice today because he wasn't feeling well. I love hockey. I love hockey fights, and I'll drop them with anybody who needs a good talking to about why hockey is so cool. Several top Bruins players did not participate today, falling under the unfit to participate label, which is annoying because it's ridiculously unclear what exactly that means. Roll call. David Pastrnak, Ondrej Kase, but we talked about them the other day. Torrey Krug, Tuukka Rask, David Krejci, Charlie Coyle, Nick Ritchie, Sean Kuraly, all missing, none injured. And we're on it. Let's look at sports. We're back after a quick timeout. N'Keal Harry, he is on the trip. He is expected to play tomorrow. He's a tantalizing wide receiver. The trouble is we haven't seen much of him this year. In fact, we haven't seen him in the regular season. He hurt his ankle in the first preseason game, and then he was put on injured reserve after that. Tom Brady hedging a little bit there, and I think I get it because developing chemistry with him is not easy. It's not so much Tom as it is the Patriots offense, which is really complex. It takes a while to get up to speed. Is N'Keal Harry a fast study? We're about to find out. Live in Baltimore, I'm Kevin Walsh, NBC 10 Boston. So the Boston Bruins are turning into the Providence Bruins because of all those injuries. The Patriots, by and large, minus Damian Harris, who's out, and Patrick Chung out, heading into this week, deep into the season, pretty healthy. So it's going to be a heck of a game between the Eagles and the Patriots, about 5 miles south of here. Live in Philadelphia, I'm Kevin Walsh, NBC 10 Boston.
Crossing our fingers that they stay healthy, too, Kevin. Thank you.
Behind me, that's Boathouse Row along the Schuylkill River, where they have the Dad Vale Regatta, which is Philadelphia's equivalent to, say, the head of the Charles. Just thought you'd like to know what that beautiful scenery was behind me. Live in Philadelphia, I'm Kevin Walsh, NBC 10 Boston.
Kevin, that is pretty, and now we know. Thank you.
We're going to meet Kevin Walsh, Adam's bone marrow donor, for the first time in 19 years.
This is Adam Harden's mother, Kim, his 4 sisters and father. As you can see, they're huge St. Louis Blues fans.
It's really neat. You know, it's extra special because I haven't talked to him, met him, or nothing else until today.
I'm super excited to meet him because I feel like he tried to save my son's life. It was always I was very grateful that somebody would give of themselves to try and save somebody else.
He's gonna pop out from behind the house.
Where is he?
If it were any other Boston reporter going in there, might be different. I don't know. I think they'll be happy to see me. I know I'm going to be happy to see them. The Blues and Bruins in the Stanley Cup Final created the perfect storm for family and a faraway friend to finally come together at once. So glad to meet you.
You too. It's been a long time, but it doesn't seem like it doesn't.
I know. This is for you.
Thanks.
I think Adam and I would have had a lot to talk about.
That's,
especially now.
Kevin sent this.
Through the years, we shared notes and trinkets and postings on social media.
Thank you.
This is real life, first time in the flesh, and that's the difference. You told me that, like, if you walked by him, like the wake of your breeze would cause him pain. I couldn't believe that when I heard that. So, who was Adam Harden? He was a 16-year-old rabid St. Louis sports fan. His courageous battle with leukemia in search for an anonymous bone marrow donor captured the attention of the St. Louis sports scene. Past Blues players visited him in Children's Hospital. He visited with the Cardinals.
This is Al Hrabowski.
Oh, look at that facial hair. And somehow, some way, I ended up being the only bone marrow match in the world for a young man I'd never met, having marrow extracted from my body and transplanted into his. A last shot at life that ultimately lasted just a couple of weeks longer.
the time leading up to the donation and the 6 months until I knew what the results were. Obviously, you knew a lot sooner than I did. I just felt unbelievable joy and purpose in my life.
Through the night, 19 years later, we laughed and cried around the dinner table.
He just set up his room. He
bought a tower for all of his games, so he had a tower for all of his games to put in there.
Such a guy thing, isn't it? He's a professional photographer.
He's the best.
And then it was time to go, but not before one last memory. And yes, this Boston sports reporter was well received in Blues territory because some things are bigger than the game. In St. Louis, Kevin Walsh, NBC 10 Boston. What a difference 4 months makes.
Usually the ball, isn't underneath a foot and a half of snow.
First tee at the Needham Golf Club in early March. Fast forward to July.
Now it's the way golf ought to be, right?
Absolutely. Beautiful day.
We didn't hit many shots then or now, just a couple between a walk and talk.
Everything you wanted it to be?
It was. I feel like I shouldn't have enjoyed it as much as I did, given why I was doing it, but I sort of feel a little guilty about that. But it was. I got a chance to spend a lot of time focusing on a little golf and a little bit of thinking about everyone with Alzheimer's. It's easier to hit the ball this time than last time.
Tops on his mind on the cross-country journey in good weather and bad, his mother in the latter stages of Alzheimer's disease. An emergency text from his siblings put the trip on hold and brought him back to his mother in Hartford.
How did you say goodbye to your mom?
I just went over to her, gave her a hug and a kiss, and said, Mom, we love you, and I gotta go. That was it. And then I flew back to Texas, and a few days later she passed.
David pressed on, playing with friends and strangers, all of whom had a connection to Alzheimer's. On the third hole of each round, he and partners played a purple ball, purple the color of Alzheimer's. The third hole, because 1 in 3 seniors dies with some form of either Alzheimer's or dementia.
I was surprised at how much it meant to people, but to have this, to know that their loved one was not forgotten, someone was thinking about them, meant a lot to people.
Eventually, the journey, which included tears, celebrations, and crazy lies, ended. So did our revisit with David.
All right, what do you see?
It's going to break just a little bit right to left.
But not before a final approach and putt to cap it off.
Attaboy, way to go. Great finish. Not just today, with everything. Hey, congratulations on your journey.
Thank you.
Give me that putter. Mom would be proud of you.
I think so.
In Needham, Mass, Kevin Walsh, NBC 10 Boston.